Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Mayhem. It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode. Super happy to have you guys with us today. If this is your first time tuning in, this is the Morning Mayhem. I have a weekly show that comes out at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every Friday morning. That's every Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the pre-recorded full show. We will take these segments from that show and cut those out and release those throughout the week for what I call morning nuggets. I've been saying for bite-sized pieces, but the inspiration for that was just kind of after your morning coffee, kind of have some morning nuggets, if you get where I'm going. Anyways, I will drop some morning nuggets throughout the week from the show, and those drop, I don't know, whatever time I feel like putting them out there. And sometimes we'll have some reactions, sometimes we'll have some guests on, and we just have a lot of fun doing some stuff. I do stream once a month, live stream. That is the first Monday of every month. So a reminder for those of you that are returning and are aware of this, the next Monday night live stream is going to be Monday, April 7th. That's April 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got a great panel lined up. Need to just double check, confirm everybody one more time, and then I'll start throwing that out there as we get closer as to who all will be on there. It's actually going to be a conversation on faith because it's in April and Easter's in April. I thought that was very fitting. So that's going to be a really cool conversation there. So guys, if you are new, we got all kinds of stuff we do here. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I earned that like or that sub, that follow or whatever today, depending on whatever platform you're on. Hope you enjoy the show. You get something out of it. If you are returning and you are subbed or followed or whatnot, thank you very much for that. You guys really help the show keep going. Of course, you know, we hit 1,000 subs not too long ago. Followers on Rumble are doing great. Other platforms are growing. Super grateful for you guys. And if you are a returning viewer and you're not subbed or following, that's okay. I'm glad you're here too. And maybe today is the day I earn it. I don't know. We'll see. Already threw out the reminder about the next Monday Night Mayhem live stream, which is going to be, again, April 7th. That's a Monday night, of course. April 7th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be the next one. Super excited about that. Do want to remind you guys, too, that every Saturday night, till he gets tired of me, every Saturday night, I will be co-hosting Off the Rails on Third Railify's channel over on Rumble. As far as I know, we are still exclusively streaming to Rumble for that, which is awesome. It is unedited, uncensored, just off the chain, third rail topics, and we definitely go off the rails as the title of the show would suggest. So if that's your cup of tea, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday nights on Rumble. I'll, of course, have a link down to his channel, Third Railify's channel, down below. It's always there. Go check him out. Love the guy, Sean over there. He's fantastic. Even when he's not doing the live stream with me, he's been doing a lot more live streams lately. He's gotten into that Rumble Partner program, so he's streaming all the time. Plus, every now and then, he'll still crank out his pre-recorded little segmented shows. Those are wild. So you need to go check those out. I promise you won't be disappointed in checking out Sean's channel. All right, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Let's take a look at what we've got on today's show. First up, teen mom turns to comedy. Well, she's been turning to other things too, but we'll talk about the comedy turn today. Major movie studio up for sale. This one kind of floored me and you know, messes with some nostalgia. We'll talk about that a little deeper. Gal Gadot, I don't know how you say it. She's a beautiful lady, very talented. Some may argue that, but yes, she talks about avoiding political talk, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Speaking of Gal Gadot, a new Wonder Woman contender, possibly in talks. I don't know. Let's dive into that shortly here, and then and lastly, we're going to talk about the impacts of the Gavin Newsom podcast that rolled out here recently. I'm assuming most of you guys are familiar with that, and yeah, we'll take a look at a couple of different aspects of it, some of the guests that have been on, and kind of give you my take on what it's accomplishing and what it isn't accomplishing. But yeah, first, let's go ahead and get the show started off with our clip of the week.
Talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden White House.
Is there any evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out. Okay, Sean.
To be fair, we actually have two clips of the week this week. Both of them do come from good friend Leah. I'll talk about her in a minute, but I had to play that one because, well, you know. All right, and here's the next clip of the week. Another feel-good clip, if you will.
Of the water and onto the recovery vessel. Wow, we got a cute little pod of dolphins. It wasn't just one or two. The Dragon spacecraft. Now here on your screen we can see dolphins actually who want to come and play with Dragon. And obviously they're getting quick assists from the honorary part of the recovery team, those dolphins in the water there.
The capsule here shortly once they get hoisted onto the recovery vessel Megan.
We can see that recovery vessel slowly but surely closing the distance there between, oh, dolphin cam back again.
And once again, I got to give a big shout out to Leah for dropping those on X. I do a call for do a call once a week for clip of the weeks. And if you do see that go up on my X account at My Morning Mayhem, follow me if you're not already. Drop any links or videos or whatever you may have. And if I pick it, I'll give you a shout out on the show and everything. And if you saw him, my dog wanted to hang out in here. So, you know, see anything weird or hear any weird noises, my hands are here. Okay. All right. But again, shout out to Leah. That second one there, there's so many, and I did have to use Leah, obviously, a different clip than what you sent. I did have to find it and edit it a little bit. The one that you submitted had music in it. So I feel like I'm always on the cusp of getting copyrighted striked for something, or copyrighted claim, whatever, you know. So you're gonna see me kind of try to avoid that as best I can with some of this stuff. So but the same feels from the original that was submitted. But I will say this, a few things from that clip I thought were great. One, great to see the astronauts back home, right? No question about that. Two, awesome SpaceX was able to help out and get it done. That's really cool to see. Three, the dolphins surrounding them and just the what dolphins can represent, you know, the happiness, the peace, the calm, safety in a sense, because dolphins, you know, will fight off sharks and stuff. So I mean, there's so much there with that, but then just the overall joy and laughter and everything you heard, and the people that were talking, that were calling what they were seeing on camera, they were chuckling, they were laughing, they were, you know, feeling good. And you know, it's almost a nostalgia thing. Joy, laughter, happiness. These are things that I remember feeling. Obviously, when we're young and we're children, we don't know of the madness of the world. But, you know, when I look back at the late 90s and early 2000s, I always say that was the last great renaissance for art, for all kinds of things. I mean, you know, fashion, you know, clothing, for cars, for films, for movies, for music, everything was in its last great renaissance, and it was different and it was wonderful. And, you know, your top athletes and movie stars were, you know, of various colors of the rainbow and sexualities, and what I like, we were at the most peacefulness and cohesiveness, and it was so wonderful. Everything was so good. And it takes me back to that time, I guess, when I hear that kind of sound, that laughter, that joy, that lightheartedness. A lot of us don't get that anymore. And I will say, covering news like I do on a regular basis, this episode is going to be a little different. We're hitting more entertainment news. It's a little lighter episode, but it can get dark. It can get really, really dark. Sean from Railify, he and I have talked about that many times, of just how absolutely dark it can get trying to cover this stuff. So, you know, yeah, it's great to hear it. It was great. So I want to say, Leah, again, thank you for submitting those clips. But that second one, the one with the dolphins, it was a more powerful clip to me than it probably should have been, maybe. But what a hint of the joy and the lightheartedness and of life that it let me look back on. So thank you for that. And I hope somebody else got something out of that. So yeah, guys, don't forget the clip of the week. Submit something if you see it out on X. If you don't follow me already, at My Morning Mayhem. All my links are down in the show notes below. Follow me. We have a good time over there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our first story of the day. Does anybody remember the 16 and pregnant / teen mom sensation star, porn star, Farrah Abraham?
Oh.
Okay. So she got famous from I'll just say it, from taking the D at a young age and getting knocked up and having a baby at 16. Okay. And then she went to the follow-up show, the continuation of that, to Teen Mom, and she was on 16 and Pregnant. She was on Teen Mom and kind of milked that for all it was worth. No pun intended on the milking. And I guess when all that was dried up, she's like, what else can I do? Oh, she went back to her roots and decided, maybe take the D again and do it on camera this time. So she did some porn.
Oh.
Yeah, there's that. You're caught up. But now, apparently, she is trying her hand at comedy. Got an article here I'm going to pull up. We're going to take a look at. And, well, if you guys have already heard and are aware of some people's views of female comedians.
Just do women's comedy stuff, talk about how fat you are and how you want to have sex with guys and then say, my vagina a lot.
Dare I say, this article may mirror some of those stereotypical thoughts on the matter.
Girls rule, women are funny, get over it.
Let's dive in. All right. From People, it says, Teen Mom's Farrah Abraham's comedy debut includes married men and daughter 16 driving her to ketamine treatments. I assume that's like injections or whatever. You'll see her in a second. You'll be like, Ugh. But I'm a pedestal princess. Also now a passenger princess. My daughter drives me everywhere. And to my ketamine treatments, Abraham teased. Look at that. Oh. Look, maybe I'm old fashioned of thinking age gracefully or whatever. And she's younger than I am. And I don't know what's up with all the plastic surgery. Everyone gets plastic surgery. The chick from The Boys, everybody, and they all start kind of looking like aliens. They kind of start looking like the same person, and again, we've lost our individuality. That's something I was reflecting on earlier, talking about the late 90s, early 2000s. That was the last great renaissance where everything was different. Everybody was different, but yet we were all together in harmony. Now we're literally coming together with plastic surgery looking the same. I digress. I'll move on. Anyways, that's the chick now. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. It says Farrah Abraham is making her comedy debut with a bang. Well, she's been doing a lot of banging. On Thursday, March 13th, so this just passed, the former Teen Mom star 33 took the stage at the Spearmint Rhino Gentlemen's Club, I'm sure where she feels nice and comfortable, for a stand-up routine that covered everything from her relationship with her 16-year-old daughter, Sophia, married men, and her ketamine treatments. Well, thank you guys for coming tonight. This is super exciting for me. It's my comedy debut, Abraham began in her introduction, adding how many comedians have given her grief for being a newbie in the field. I don't know how she talks. Honestly, I don't. I know I've seen the show, in passing. My wife was watching it at one point in time. I don't know which one, Teen Mom or 16. I don't know. Maybe both. So just bear with me on the interpretation of the tone. All right. But I am a pedestal princess, also now a passenger princess, and I also think she's probably the spoiled brat. I do remember her always having an attitude with everybody and thinking she's hot. She's better than everybody. And so I can't stand that in a human being. So this is what I'm getting from her. She's hair flipping. She's just fabulous. Okay. So, but I'm a pedestal princess, also now a passenger princess. My daughter drives me everywhere and to my ketamine treatments.
Huh. Oh my God, that wasn't really all that funny. That's weird.
Isn't that everywhere? Why does that have to be called out specifically? Anyways, after doing some crowd work and cracking jokes about her dating life, Abraham revealed that she's gotten away with a lot of weird stuff sometimes, including an affair with a married man. Now, look, we live in a time where this stuff is completely acceptable to talk about openly. Used to be it was behind closed doors, secretively. You would die without anyone ever finding out, right? Or if you found out, you'd kill them. You know, it'd be like, oh, you cheated on me, you're gonna die. And there was a TikTok or something not long ago where the guy with the shotgun took out the wife for cheating on him. I'm not saying whether that was a good move or a bad move, because I'm not. But my point is, she's bragging about it, very braggadocious about doing something horrible. And I'm reminded of, what's that chick's name that sucks? Cardi B. Didn't Cardi B do that? Like openly say she would drug guys at the strip club or whatever and then rob them. And now she's like this huge star and nobody cares. Like, what? Why is this acceptable? If the shoe was on the other foot and it was a guy, you know, it would be different. Even still, like we live in a really weird time. Again, I will go back to my Christian roots and say, you know, we're in a weird place right now where good is called evil and evil is called good. It's in a little book called Revelation. You might want to check it out sometimes. Back to the story. That's her and her daughter now. This married man got a vasectomy from didn't ever tell his wife, she recalled, claiming that a man had an arrangement with his wife. Though he was a good dad and his wife was aware of the situation, the reality star explained, there were two reasons why she put an end to the arrangement. Abraham claimed that the man took a loan out against his own house without his wife's knowledge and revealed that he only married her because he wanted to have really tall kids. But the number one reason why she pulled the trigger is because the man started making positive changes in his life. He starts being so happy, looking so good, getting so fit, she said. He starts getting a new car. He starts cooking for her, doing all these things. He's like, oh my gosh, she wants to actually me again. And I go, okay, well, when she wants to do that, just let me know because this is over because I'm not a home wrecker. Bullshit! Bullshit! Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. One time, Abraham said that the man took her to his family's home. During the house tour, she saw their full-on wedding pictures and her vitamins on the counter. My stars. When it came time to see the bedroom, she recalled feeling a little nervous and paranoid, thinking his wife would randomly pop out with a bat. Vera concluded her set by referencing her past legal problems. I'm dying inside doing this. I've gotten to go to court so many times and win, and I just love it. I love it. So we got a couple of those open right now, the reality star said of her ongoing legal troubles.
Okay, and then just go, my vagina.
If this is anything that's supposed to be relatively close to comedy, I don't think I want to live anymore. Like, I grew up, look, my favorite comedians of all time, right? Robin Williams is probably my favorite comedian of all time. Richard Pryor's up there, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy was great stand-up. Let's see, who else? Carlos Mencia was good. I know I'm going to get crap for that one. And I know he stole jokes, but I laughed a lot with Carlos Mencia. Bernie Mac. Loved Bernie Mac. Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr. As a comedian, I think Bill Burr's great. I can think of a lot of comedians. There's some female comedians that are funny. Whitney Cummings, I think, is funny. You know, I spoke about her a few episodes back, and I think she's funny. And was it Paula Poundstone when I was a kid? I remember watching her. So, you know, it's not that women can't be funny.
Girls rule. Women are funny. Get over it.
I just haven't seen it lately. And stuff like this is being pawned off as comedy, and it's not. Or what's that chick? I got her in my intro video, and she's not funny. She did the special Nanette, right? And she's just preaching. and I was abused and I was touched. And I'm not making light of that, but that's not comedy. You're preaching to the crowd. You're using the crowd as like therapy. Like what a sick human being. Like what a sick way to do comedy. You know what I mean? I mean, what is this crap? What is this crap? This isn't comedy. You guys think this is comedy? You think it's funny? Do you think she's going to have a career in that? Or is she going to go back to taking the D on camera? I don't even know. She may not have even stopped. That may be her full-time gig. I have no idea. I can't say I keep up with her. So this one came as a surprise to me. Now, this isn't a major film studio like Warner Brothers or Universal or Fox or anything like that necessarily. I know Fox, Disney, whatever. But Disney. Did I mention Disney? Whatever. But it's again, I'm kind of on nostalgia hits today, but it's kind of a nostalgia hit for a lot of great films, even recent films that have come out. But yeah, apparently I ran across this article, and a pretty big film studio is filing for bankruptcy and is up for sale. And again, a lot of great films. We'll talk about some in just a second on this one, but first let's take a look at the article. This is from Deadline. Village Roadshow. Again, that may probably ring a bell, but if you can't necessarily associate certain films with it, that's okay. We'll talk about some here in a bit. But Village Roadshow moves forward with bankruptcy. It says open to all bids. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one recently. Joker. One of my favorite movies from the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, maybe. I mean, it's so high on the pedestal for me. Joker 2, I still haven't seen yet. I'm being told not to, because I love Joker so much from the acting, the story, and then probably one of my favorite aspects as a cinematographer, as a filmmaker. I do a little bit of everything, but cinematography is something I'm really keen on. The cinematography for Joker is awesome, and actually having some of the lenses that they used. Of course, they had them modified, and I don't have all that, but how they used them and what they used, I've got some of that, and that makes me like excited. I'm like, I can do this, you know. But yeah, I love Joker. Love Joker. Got my DVD close at all times, just in case I need to pop it in.
That's what she said.
Anyways, scrolling down here. Village Roadshow Entertainment hit Delaware court today after filing for Chapter 11, and today being, let's see, March 18th. So what was that? Tuesday. Let's see. Filing for Chapter 11 amid a sea of red ink legal costs and debt that's been ratcheting up financial pressure on the indie producer and financier. A lawyer for the company told a judge at a hearing that the company is open to all bids for its primary asset, according to routers, whatever, meaning a film library that throws off about $50 million a year in revenue. The library is coming to market with so-called stalking horse offer of $365 million from content partners. Attorney Justin Byrne Brock said in court that his client's longtime partner turned adversary, Warner Brothers, probably no surprise there to most, could also bid for the film rights, as per Reuters. Most of Village Roadshow's prize films, including the Matrix and Ocean's franchises, were co-produced with Warner. The two have been in costly mediation since 2022, when Village Roadshow filed a claim against Warner over its day-and-day streaming release of The Matrix Resurrections and its right to co-finance derivative works based on the film library assets co-owned with WB. This tussle has costed $18 million in legal fees, the company said in its Chapter 11 filing, and crippled its business. So did investments in its own studio projects that did not turn a profit. Village Roadshow enters the bankruptcy process along with about 36 subsidiaries with $163 million in senior debt. Now, I won't go any further there, but I will go over some of the films that you guys are probably most familiar with from them. And this is from IMDb. If you don't know what IMDb is, the link, of course, for this will be down in the show notes below. All my links always are. IMDb is Internet Movie Database. If you don't use it, oh my goodness, it's great. You can type in any movie and find out every actor that's in it. You can find filming locations, all kinds of stuff. If you have a favorite actor, you're like, what was that movie that Keanu Reeves was in, like in 92? You can type in Keanu Reeves and scroll down to 92 and look and find what film that was in. I don't know which one that would be, but yeah, Yeah, there's something, I'm sure. I actually am also on IMDb with my films and other films that I've worked on and whatnot. So it's really, really cool. Anyways, scrolling down. Of course, The Matrix, Mad Max Fury Road, Wonka. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm scared to see this. I did not like the Tim Burton remake. And it upset me. It was so bad it upset me. I did not like it. I don't know if I want to go see this one, and I still have yet to see anything with Timothée Chalamet in it. I take that back. Wasn't he in Interstellar? I think he was in Interstellar, which I saw. So I may be wrong on that one. Anyways, Joker, Ready Player One, Ocean's 11, The Great Gatsby, The Equalizer. There's that stupid Tron. Edge of Tomorrow, Passengers, Mystic River, Constantine, which was great. I like Constantine. Training Day is one of my all-time favorite movies too. I love Training Day. I'm a big gangster movie kind of guy. I love that. Magnificent Seven, Ocean's 8, The Judge, American Sniper, Matrix Resurrections, Miss Congeniality, Practical Magic. I mean, these Zoolander, these were some bangers back in the day, right? So these are, you know, films that Village Roadshow is known for helping out with producing. And I hate this because they've really done some good stuff, but they've also done some terrible stuff, you know, as you do. You roll the dice and sometimes you just don't land on anything that's productive or has a good return. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff these studios and production houses are rolling out they know is not going to return. Because at some point, the messaging became more important than the quality of film. And we see that over and over again. We talk about it over and over again. I spoke about Sean over at Third Railify. He has a good friend of ours, Mike, on there all the time. And that's one of his big things. He's like, look, you know, they just keep rebooting and sequeling because of the marketing, the return on the investment. It's safer and they don't care about art. And they talk about that all the time. Again, link to Sean's channel in the show notes. He streams with him all the time. Go check him out. And I think Mike might get his own channel at some point. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. He's developing a video game, so I know he's got that going on. But it's so sad to see, as an artist, to see these great films and great art, you know, potentially going away or getting, you know, bidded out to someone who's not going to show them the love and respect that they deserve. I kind of think about like buying Star Wars from George Lucas and how they did all that wrong, how they did him wrong. It's just, I hate it. It breaks my heart as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, but you know, it is what it is. And if you run a bad business and you run afoul and decide that you're going to put a bunch of woke content out there, this is what you get. So some celebs get it, but more and more don't. they just don't get it. Social media has played a huge role in it as well, and the desire to stay relevant and in the spotlight. Too many of them are spouting out their thoughts about the world and politics and more. Most of them are so out of touch with the rest of the world and reality as a whole, right? They get in their echo chambers. They have no idea what they're talking about. And what am I talking about? Of course, I ran into an article, shocker, about Gal Gadot. I'm going to go with Gadot. Sounds good, Gadot. And it talks about how she's kind of backing away and doesn't want any part in talking politics. She just wants to be an artist. And I praise that. I think that's great. That's awesome. Because again, they've been opening their mouths. They've been getting too involved in things they don't understand, things they don't know. They just repeat talking points and they think they're smart because they can act and I can make you believe that I know what I'm. No, you're an idiot. Stop. Quit talking. You know, not only has it ruins some of your image, it makes us not want to watch some of your films. And it ruins that mystique of celebrityism. Is celebrityism a word, by the way? But it ruins the mystique of what it used to be celebrities. Like, you didn't hear from celebrities a lot. Some you did, sure, like we do now. But not to the extent of what we do now. And it's breaking that wall of like, oh, I want to look up to them and idolize them and watch the award shows, and I hope they win an award, and I can't wait till they put out a movie because I want to go see that. We don't care about any of that anymore. Look at the viewership and the ratings of the award shows. Nobody cares. We see these people all the time on social media, too much on social media, in fact. And again, they're spouting out stuff they have no idea what they're talking about. No idea. But let's get into this article that started this all off for me. This is from People. Let's see. And it says, oops, scroll too far. Gal Gadot says, who cares about celebrities talking about politics amid Snow White controversy? Oh, yeah, there's that. She is jealous of, what's her name? Rachel Zegler. Right. Gal Gadot is keeping her political opinions out of spot. And you know what? This is very hard for her to do, I would imagine. I think the article does talk about it a little bit because she's from Israel. And of course, what's going on with Israel-Palestine, I would imagine it would make it harder for her. So props to her, whereas these other people are not involved in anything. They just want to interject themselves and be involved and be relevant when they're really not. Back to reading it. Gal Gadot is keeping her political opinions out of the spotlight in an interview with Variety ahead of the release of the live action Snow White movie. The actress admitted she doesn't talk politics after the terrorist attack on Israel on October 7th, 2023. Of course, we remember that. Because who cares about the celebrity talking about politics, said Gadot, 39, who is Israeli. I'm an artist. I want to entertain people. I want to bring hope and be a beacon of light whenever I say anything about the world. Some people may say that this is cheesy. I think it's great. I think it's great. As an artist myself, again, as a filmmaker, you know, sometimes I make films that make you, you know, that scare you. I have a horror film out there that's done very well. I have, you know, something that might scare you, something that might make you laugh, you know, something that might make you cry, you know, it takes you on a journey. It takes you on a ride. It lets you feel things that you don't, you know, normally feel in your everyday life, or you get on the edge of like danger, but from the comfort of your own home. That's what art allows you to do. It lets you experience things you don't normally experience, go places you don't normally go, and all this stuff. And at the end, you are entertained. You are enlightened, or you know, just grateful for that opportunity. And it is. I hope to be a net positive in someone's life. Same thing with this show. But with the art, that's what you want. You want to be a positive in somebody's life. You want to be a beacon of light. You want to be, you know, something they look fondly back on, you and your work, you know, your artwork. So I don't find it cheesy at all. I think it's legit. I think it's great. Her comments come amid tensions surrounding Disney's Snow White remake, some of which may extend to stars Gadot, who plays Evil Queen, and Rachel Zegler, who plays the titular princess. While noting that Zegler is 23, a source told People on Friday, March 14th, that the actress has nothing in common with Gal Gadot, a mom of 4 kids. That blows my mind. She's got 4 kids and looks like that. I mean, no, just saying. You know, just saying, you know. Let's see. Don't care about all that. Okay. On top of that, their political views differ, adding to the tension. The source added, reps for Zegler and Gadot did not respond to People's request for comment at the time. Zegler and Gadot have appeared at multiple events to promote their long-delayed film, including at Disney's D23 Expo in 2022 and the recent Academy Awards, where they took to the stage to present the Best Visual Effects category together, which is funny because the visual effects I've seen so far from the new Snow White movie look god awful. Back to the article. Gadot did not attend the Snow White's European premiere in Spain on Wednesday, March 12th, though a source familiar with the situation told People the Wonder Woman star was never supposed to be in Spain and was doing press in New York City. This isn't like a stay away from me situation, the latter insider said of the actress's dynamic. They were at the Oscars together. They'll be together this weekend. Gadot did attend Snow White's Los Angeles premiere Saturday, March 15th. A third source pointed out the co-star's huge age gap and different political views. Gadot, who served in the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, always short-handed, has advocated for the release of Israeli hostages, while Zegler has voiced support for Palestinians among the ongoing conflict in Gaza. You guys remember when they walked down on stage, how absolutely awkward it was to not only see them together, but to see this one right here walk?
Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Weird. In her conversation with Variety, Godot insisted she's not a hater, noting how political issues of the moment are just very personal for her. I'm a grandchild of a Holocaust survivor who came to Israel and established his family from scratch after his entire family was erased in Auschwitz, she said. And on the other side of my family, I'm 8th generation Israeli. I'm an indigenous person of Israel. As for speaking out in support of Israelis taken prisoner by Hamas on October 7, 2023, I'm all about humanity, and I felt like I had to advocate for the hostages. Godot continued. I know what I'm advocating for, and I know what I wish for the world, she said. I am praying for better days for all. I want everybody to have good life and prosperity and the ability to raise their children in a safe environment. Let me say this. Of any celebrities that are out there right now that know what's going on and do have a voice for like the Israel-Palestine thing that's going on there, the conflict, I don't know, war, whatever, it's always something. She's actually one I would listen to. Like if she said something, she's got a stake in the game. She's from there. She was in the IDF. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like Mark Ruffalo, who has an opinion on everything and has done basically nothing. God, he is not a good actor. He is not a good actor. I'm sorry. Again, I ruffle feathers. Sorry. I don't think he's a good actor. And he's definitely not good at whatever this virtue signaling crap is when he gets out there and says, oh, well, Trump this and that and Israel and Palestine. Like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not Bruce Banner. You're some actor who just got lucky. Let's face it. What are you doing, man? Just shut your mouth before people realize how absolutely ignorant you are and you lose everything. That would be my advice to Mark Ruffalo. There you go. Free advice, buddy. No charge. No charge. Maybe hit that like button, you know? But hey, good on Gal Gadot saying, I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm going to step away. I'm not going to say anything anymore. I'm an artist. I'm going to make that my main thing. Now, if her co-star, who is young and naive, I'm going to say that. Absolutely young and naive. And grew up in a world where everything that she said in her opinions and was filtered to her in life was probably built up to be more important than it actually was. Her viewpoints on everything were probably bigger than they were. My understanding is she kind of grew up a privileged life. I don't remember every detail of it, but I remember covering that either with myself or someone else talking about that. But yeah, when you kind of don't know about life until you've really lived life. And at 23, coming up in a privileged life, you don't really know. Gal Gadot's got, what did it say, 4 kids? You know, so she knows about motherhood. She served in the IDF. She knows about what's going on over there in Israel and Palestine and, well, just Israel and everything. I mean, everybody's going for Israel. She has more experience under her belt than most of the people in Hollywood do. You know, real life experience I'm talking about. And then she went on to win like Miss, Universe or Miss whatever. If anyone can talk, I think she gets a pass. No one wants to hear it all the time, for sure. But she would get a pass if she said something, whereas everyone else is just, shut up. Just shut up. All right, so we all know that the DCU is being relaunched under James Gunn, right? We know Superman's coming. We've got some other stuff that's been coming out. Lanterns, all kinds of announcements. All this stuff's coming out. Superman, we'll see how that goes, right? But we know it's being relaunched. So with that, it's also being recasted, new people and all these new roles. We were just talking about Gal Gadot, who played Wonder Woman, of course. And apparently, Grace Caroline, I'm thinking that's how you say it, Curry. If you know what I'm talking about, she played Mary from Shazam. Did a fantastic job in that. I enjoyed Shazam. I thought Shazam 2 was good too. David F. Sandberg is somebody I look up to as a filmmaker. He started out like me, indie filmmaker, making short films online, and had one of his go viral and blow up. And then he made it into a feature film with James Wan and Blumhouse, I think, and kind of went from there. I think he's great. Still got a YouTube channel and teaches people how to do stuff. So, hats off to him. Anyways, Mary from Shazam. Nice, really nice. Good actress, good looking, did it right. She could definitely fill the void of Wonder Woman if need be, right? If recasting came about and it was offered to her, she mentions in this article we'll look at that she would be down for it, right? And speaking of filling the void, I remember when Gal Gadot got casted and everybody was like, oh, she's very beautiful, but she's not Linda Carter. She's not the comic books as far as, something goes that Grace could probably fill that void in a little bit better with. Just saying. I mean, I'm just putting that out there. So let's take a look at the article. Not that makes the biggest difference in the world. Sometimes it does. All right. From MovieWeb, Shazam star open to DCU return as fan casting heats up for Wonder Woman. And again, Gal Gadot, beautiful, did a good job with the role. No shame, no hate, no nothing. Former DC star is open to returning to James Gunn's and Peter Safran's rebooted DCU, and some fans think she would make for a great Wonder Woman. Actress Grace Caroline Curry previously played Mary Bromfield in 2019's Shazam, and even got to suit up as the hero, Mary Marvel / Mary Shazam, known in the film as superhero Mary. In 2023, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Both films were set in the previous DCEU continuity, and with the franchise now getting a reboot with James Gunn's DCU, the two Shazam films and its semi-adjacent spin-off Black Adam are no longer part of the franchise's plans. Despite this, Curry hopes to return the superhero world someday. Speaking with the Direct, Curry was asked if she would ever return to the DC universe, with the interview specifically citing how fans have fan cast her as Wonder Woman. That's a loaded question. It's been very nice to see people say that, said Curry. I think getting to be in the universe at all has been such a lottery kind of feeling that I don't know if I got to come back in any capacity. That'd be wild. Curry also reflected on her time in the DCEU and how she was a fan of the universe before joining the first Shazam film, Curry said. Oh gosh, I mean, I grew up watching the animated series like the Batman animated series, which was great. I love the Batman animated series. Justice League, and so getting to dive into that world, especially with DC, right? Yeah, those legends, Batman, Superman, but pretty cool to get to exist in that same universe as much as it can be, with all the different worlds that we don't have with DC. And I won't get into that, but yeah, it was really fun. I read it exactly like it was written, for the record. Okay, it was what it was. That was her. If you need a refresher. All right. While the Shazam corner of the DCEU franchise is likely not going to be a factor in James Gunn's DCU, particularly following Zachary Levi's controversial decision to endorse Donald Trump for president, that doesn't rule out Curry from joining the DCU as a new character. If you have a problem with someone endorsing a Republican, but you don't have a problem with them endorsing a Democrat, you can go f*** yourself. Okay? Just saying. After all, Jason Momoa played one of the headlining heroes, Aquaman, in 2 solo films, a team-up movie, and 3 cameos. Momoa will now play a different character, Lobo, in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Considering that Curry's role in the Shazam films was fairly minor, it would be far more straightforward for audience to accept her stepping into another role. However, if that specific role is Wonder Woman, that is a different story. Despite the DCU having big plans for Superman and Batman, their Wonder Woman plans are more nebulous. James Gunn and Peter Safran canceled Patty Jenkins' planned Wonder Woman 3, and Gal Gadot is not expected to return as the titular character or hero. There is a Wonder Woman related HBO series titled Paradise Lost, but the project is described as a prequel before Wonder Woman is born, meaning there is no current idea if and when the DCU version of Wonder Woman will make her appearance. No casting rumors regarding Wonder Woman have emerged either, with the only reference to the character being in a vision of creature commandos where audiences saw the silhouette of her corpse. Grace Caroline Curry was one of the best parts in both Shazam and Shazam Fury of the Gods. Agreed. She was great. She was great. So it would be great to see her return to the franchise in some capacity, but a new character or returning as Mary Shazam. If James Gunn and Warner Brothers did want to continue with Shazam storyline, but without star Zachary Levi, why? Curry would take over the franchise as the new lead character. In recent DC Comics, Mary loses her original powers and later regains them, thanks to none other than the Queen Hippolyta, the mother of Wonder Woman. So even if Curry was not Wonder Woman specifically, there is a link established between Curry's previous DC character, and it could be the perfect fresh start for Mary Shazam and Grace Caroline in this new universe. I'll say this: if they go that route and they make a Shazam film without Shazam and make her the lead character, look, I think she's fine. I don't have a problem looking at her. You gonna make a Shazam movie without Shazam? And all this hate because Zachary Levi endorsed Trump? Seriously? I don't know if this is like MovieWeb saying it's controversial or if it's the DCU folks saying this is controversial that he's endorsed Trump, or who's talking about dropping Zachary Levi for Shazam. I don't know who's actually the one saying all that. Again, if it's MovieWeb or whatever, but come on, man. This just again reiterates the whole thing that I know Zachary Levi probably said it, but so many other people said, like, you can't be a conservative in Hollywood. And that's sad because Hollywood is very well known as being very liberal, which is supposed to be very open and very warm and accepting and loving. Doesn't seem to be the case, does it? All right, guys, last segment and we are out of here. So most of you are probably familiar with the new podcast by the Dems' darling governor, Gavin Newsom. I ran into this story from PureBlood Media. Go check them out. Link in the show notes below. news.pureblood.media. That will take you to the news aggregator. There's other stuff on there too. The TV guide's got all of us on there. But the news aggregator, fantastic. Every single news article that comes across the screen is triple source fact checked. That means there's at least 3 sources, other sources that corroborate, is that the right word? The story that you're reading, and fact checks it and says that this is legit, this is the real deal. You know you're getting something that's true and authentic versus what you can find elsewhere, right? So this isn't necessarily one that had to come from them, but I saw it scrolling across. It caught my attention. I said, I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive on this. Not too deep, won't keep you too long, but do want to look at it with you. And again, it is about the podcast, right? But go check out, and you'll see it pop up there in probably a little bit. But yeah, go check out Pure Blood Media. A great source for news articles, for finding great content creators that put out stuff like this, that do music and entertainment and whatever. Just a whole bunch of us out here doing the thing. Support indie creators. That's what we are. All right. So this comes from WorldNet Daily. It says, watch Tim Waltz on Mega, folks. I could kick most of their blanks. Ass. All right. So we're going to scroll through this real quick. Tim Waltz was recently on there. I don't know how this guy has time to do a podcast. I mean, I think I know because he's not doing anything else, but I mean, still from an optics perspective, it's pretty rough, but we'll get to that later. It says, talking to California Governor Gavin Newsom on his new podcast, Minnesota Governor and failed vice presidential candidate Tim Waltz, typo guys, claimed about those he disagrees with politically, I think I could kick most of their ass. The remark was in context of how to counteract the success of Donald Trump and his MAGA movement. Now, here's the actual video, and I think this is all I'm going to play. Yeah, this is all we got going on here. So I'm going to play the video. It is
they figured it
2 minutes long. I'm going to stop it and kind of give commentary a little bit as we go through it for a couple of reasons. Gavin Newsom seems like the kind of guy that would be slimy and sleazy enough to try to copyright claim it. Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid that. So let's go through, because there are a couple of points that are here, and I would actually love to take this entire interview, because I've heard more than just this 2 minutes. I'd love to take this entire interview and maybe do it like on the member side of Rumble for those that have paid memberships, subscriptions or whatnot over there, and break down the whole thing from start to finish. And that might be something I do. I don't know. Keep an eye on X. I might put something out there. But let's go ahead and play this and we'll talk about it.
Have they figured it out that the identity piece of this is more important than the actual substance behind
Well,
it?
they've been doing.
All right. So he's talking about the right with their identity politics. That's right. The right and their identity politics. Seriously? Okay. Anyways, he's talking about the right and their identity politics, but really, anytime the left says something, it's pretty much projection. So have they
figured it out that the identity piece of this is more important than the actual substance behind
Well,
it?
they've been.
So again, he's saying, have they figured out that the identity portion of it is more important than the actual belief system or whatever he says? The identity is more important than the actual substance. That's what they do. They pretend, they fake, they are not. There is nothing authentic and genuine about the left. True story. Okay. Go listen to any of them talk. Go listen to him talk. How many times did he get caught in lies and misinformation on the campaign trail? And he'll do it again. This is just what he does, you know. And Kamala, I mean, what a joke of a candidate she was, right? Nothing authentic about this woman. She did everything she could to come across authentic. Didn't work. Nothing authentic about these guys. But that's the thing. They want to put on this facade and say, oh, let me just push this this appearance, right? What do you say that the identity, we're going to push the identities and these appearances and this to you, because that, if I can sell you on that, that's actually more important than the substance of what I'm pushing, of what I actually believe and who I actually am and what I actually, that's what he's actually saying right there. He's trying to, again, project to the right, and you can't. I'm sorry. The right doesn't do identity politics. You guys do. You guys do. All right, let's keep going.
More important than the actual substance behind
Well,
it?
they've been doing it for decades. I mean, we've saw the welfare queens. They've seen the Southern strategy. We've seen it over and over. It's an old playbook, and we're as dumb as we want to be that we allow them to do this with CRT and ESG and DEI and every three-letter word.
And then they demonize people.
Yeah, demonize, and they weaponize grievance. They other people.
Is that not projection right there? They demonize, they weaponize. What's happening to Tesla right now? What's going on with their car lots? Right? They're being destroyed. They're saying that the hand gesture made by Elon Musk now opens him up to everything. Oh, he's finding corruption in our government and bloated spending and all this and that. He must be a bad guy. What? These people are in a cult. I will argue tooth and nail about the cults. The mega cult does not exist. There are people that are very, very blind followers of Donald Trump or the MAGA movement. But that pales in comparison to the people that are just blind supporters of literally anything and everything the Democrat Party pushes. And if you get out of line with that, you're out of that cult. You're like a leper, you know, get away from me, out with you. And that's why a lot of people have come over to the right, because the right's like, hey, look, we really like this guy, but we're open to other things too. Want to have some dialogue? It's different over here.
people, they talk down to people, past people, they humiliate people, they weaponize difficult issues. But the bottom line is, and I think it goes back to what we began with, is, and I applaud you for this, is we cannot continue to be on the defense reacting to this. We've got to go on the offense. We got to meet people where they are. But I also think this, and this is where, this is part of the conversation.
We'll get back to you in a second. You guys are the ones saying, go out in the streets. There shouldn't be any unrest. Waving canes and on the floor of the Congress, and threatening other politicians and saying that, it's okay to confront people in restaurants and get in their faces and say they're not welcome here. I'm looking at you, Maxine, and so many others. Screw you guys. Screw you guys. I mean, you guys are always on the offensive. Okay. Yet the only thing that you're on the defensive of is everything that you're wrong about, because you don't have anything to counter it with. So you have to fight to not look like creeps and weirdos wanting to touch and look at and mangle children's bodies. And you guys are sick. Absolutely sick. Let's continue with Stuttering John over here.
The conversation I'm trying to have is you got to respect people you disagree with, and you can't just dismiss people. This
How
notion
do you fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that.
Have you seen Tim Waltz walk? Come here. Have you seen Tim Waltz walk? Have you seen him clap? Have you listened to him talk? This man is about 6 months away from being cognitively probably where Joe Biden was. Okay. I can see him falling upstairs for sure. Kick whose ass, Tim? Tampon Tim. The guy that I can't remember if it's in this 2-minute clip or if it's in the longer one where it's like, oh, well, they came at me because I was a bad example of what masculinity is. I am masculine. I'm modern day masculine. Borderline like fruitcake. I don't say that against gays. A lot of the people that watch my channel are conservative gays, and you're awesome. I love you guys. But you know what I mean by fruitcake? Just like, it's just, I'm Tim Waltz. Go, Kamala, go. Yes, like a flamer or whatever. I don't know. Flamboyant. But my point is, I can't see Tim Waltz kicking anybody's ass. I can't see him kicking Kamala Harris's ass. They got an ass kicking contest. She would probably win.
I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
Again, WWE. Nothing against the wrestlers there. It's real in the sense that they get hurt. No question about it. It's scripted and it's acting, right? It's sports entertainment. He probably would have been better off saying something like the UFC. He just wants to wrestle against some tights and wrestles, what it sounds like to me. Tim, you silly old man.
But it's a natural reaction. I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men. And again, it's multi-ethnic. It's not just white men. We're losing them. We're losing them to these guys online. We're losing them people that I'm bringing on this podcast as well. That's why I brought.
These are bad guys, though. Because
he disagrees with them. They are bad guys. Now, remember this, guys. Back when Biden was in office, you had, what's her name? Pulaski, whatever, the little redheaded goofy chick, kind of like Chucky. They were all talking about like censoring people that were misinformation and Spotify and everything that was, like how do we censor these people? How do we silence these people? Let's remove these voices. Trump got in office. He's like, how can we give more people a voice? How can we bring more people to the table? Our wonderful press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, of course, she's done an amazing job about, speaking to that and saying that more people would be in the room asking questions, interacting. And that's a huge thing. So I'm excited to see the direction we're going in. We're trying to add more voices to the conversation and get more word out. The left tries to silence and control. Remember that, guys. Remember that.
These
I
are
brought Charlie Kirk,
bad guys.
but they exist, and we could deny they exist. They exist. Not only they exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
I think we have.
There you go. How do we push them back under a rock? How do we get these dissenting voices, the ones that we don't like, and how do we silence them? How do we control the narrative? And they're losing the narrative. That's why podcasts like this are popping up. Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom. Watch, I say this on all the posts. AOC is going to run for vice president or president coming up soon, whatnot. She's going to lose. And then she's going to start a podcast. And if that doesn't work, I wouldn't be surprised if she starts an OnlyFans. I'm just saying. I can see it. I can see it. Because she craves the spotlight herself. That's what a lot of these Democrats do. They want to be celebrities. So what you see more than often than not is like the Gavin Newsom. He wants to be liked. He wants to be a celebrity. He wants to be treated like a rock star. He doesn't care if California burns. Why do your job when you can have a podcast and celebrity, and walk around and get things have things given to you and people, fall at your feet and stuff? I can't stand this guy. He's a snake.
Have to first understand what their motivations are. I think we have to understand what they're actually doing. And
you don't
I think
think
that's
it's
important.
racism and misogyny?
I think there's a.
What a pitiful, pathetic excuse of a man to say that. Okay. I'm not an Andrew Tate, fanboy or anything like that. And I think he goes too far. But him and so many other people have been coming out to be these, pushing for masculinity, old school masculinity conversations. And we need that because old school masculinity is going away. I look at the world, I look at people and that are near my age, and I'm like, what happened to men? I mean, I've got low testosterone. I've openly admitted that. I've got low testosterone naturally. I have to inject myself and get myself where I need to be, which I don't think is all the way where I need to be still, to be fair. I would love some more. But, I know how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to do some stuff. I've worked on the cars. I camp in the wilderness. I can survive out in the wilderness if I have to. I support the family. I can fix things around the house. And I don't know, just normal masculine stuff. I hold the door open and be a gentleman. I worship the ground my wife walks on without being stepped on, knowing that I have a place and she has a place. We have our roles and we respect each other's roles. I mean, to me, this modern day masculinity is basically just femininity light. It's almost there. They are trying to erase masculinity. And this dude right here, what a sissy, horrible thing to put out there. Do you think it's racism and misogyny? Every time I hear somebody talking about misogyny, I don't even care about racism anymore. Call me racist. I don't care. The misogyny thing, I just almost want to smack them in the mouth. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just an idiot. Figuratively, of course, I would never actually smack somebody in the mouth because I disagree with what they say.
I think there's a lot of that, but I don't think it's exclusively that. When you talk to a guy like Steve Bannon, he talks about working folks and he talks about how we hollowed out the industrial core of this country. But I understand that. But we can dismiss the notion of election denialism. We could completely dismiss what he did on January 6th, but I don't think you can dismiss.
All right, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. That's it there. All right. I wanted to go this one too real quick. I know I'm running this segment a little longer. This is on X. Laura Powell talks about when Charlie Kirk came on. So Gavin Newsom says his son wanted to meet Charlie Kirk, but he wouldn't let him miss school. Kirk replies, well, you canceled school for like 2 years. What's one day going to do? Which was funny. That was funny. That was a funny little jab there. Says Newsom just laughs. The laugh means my kid went to private schools and stayed open while I forced millions of public school children to suffer. That laugh means I haven't faced accountability and am betting I never will. Maybe this illustrates why a governor shouldn't become a talk show host. A governor isn't allowed to casually laugh off serious issues like this. That is very well said. Laura Powell. I like it. Follow. Anyways, this is 27 seconds long. Probably won't catch this. I mean, it just says what he says, but I'm going to wrap it up with a bow after this.
Last night, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thanks.
Last night, trying to put.
Okay. All right. So enough of him. Here's the thing. I made me a little list so I wouldn't forget. I feel like Gavin Newsom is accomplishing three things. I'm a big advocate for threes. I love the number 3. It's like my favorite number. Holy Trinity. Dale Earnhardt, right? Raise hell, praise Dale. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. 3's just a good number for me. All right. So anyway, so I'm a big advocate for 3s. 3 points that I'm going to call out of what Gavin Newsom is ultimately doing with this podcast, in my humble yet accurate opinion. 1, he knowingly or unknowingly, right, is exposing the silliness and ridiculousness of his fellow Democrat politicians, like Tim Walz, to an audience that's used to seeing this kind of stuff edited or covered up. They're not used to seeing the stupid come out of his mouth. We are, and we see it all the time. It's exposed nonstop. But when they see it, it's filtered and manufactured to only be what they want to hear. But some of that stuff that came out of his mouth is just so ridiculous and stupid. People on that side are going to hear it and be like, really? This is who we are? This is what we stand for? And it's going to impact those people. Watch. All right. Number 2. He's platforming people on the right and normalizing their ideas to an audience that thought we were all nuts. But really, we're the most grounded and rational. And again, they're not used to hearing that because the mainstream media will cut out, all talk of normalcy. They will only highlight the sound bites that make us sound crazy. Donald Trump, there's going to be a bloodbath. Oh my God! But what context was that in? What do you mean by that? Oh, in the auto industry? Okay, well, that's not so bad. Okay, we're going to go march on the Capitol. Oh my God, he's calling for violence. Oh, but he said peacefully and patriotically. I haven't heard that before. What's up? Why am I not hearing these things? So I'm sure there's some editing that goes on here, and I'm sure they're going to filter out some stuff here, but hearing him praise Charlie Kirk and saying that, hey, you're somebody my kid follows, you're somebody that people enjoy listening to, and you're making a dent and you're being effective, that might make people want to say, okay, who's this Charlie Kirk guy? Now, I don't necessarily think Charlie Kirk is the greatest thing out there. I think he made a huge impact. I think he is a net positive for sure. There are probably things that we will disagree on. One thing we absolutely agree on is God gave us the greatest gift of salvation through his son, Jesus Christ. No argument there. But I will say this. He's platforming these people in a good way, I think. Because I don't see him pushing back, which is going to take me to my third point here. I don't see Gavin pushing back like he probably should, like a Bill Maher does, right? Or the Daily Show with Jon Stewart would. But he's not going to because of number 3. He, being Gavin Newsom, he's becoming whatever the people want him to be, right? Whatever the voters want him to be, whatever the people want him to be, whatever the mass audiences want him to be, that's what he is. It's like he's water. He's fluid. He can take the shape of anything, or like someone who is spineless and stands for nothing. He can stand for everything and nothing at the same time. It's whatever you want. Do you want me to like that? Then I like it. You want me to hate it? Then I hate it. Why? Because he's trying to build up his popularity, because he is going to definitely be running for president, and he wants to appeal to voters. And he thinks this is normalizing him talking to people on the right and people on the left. And he's cool and he's laid back and he's chill. Hey, look, he's got his jeans on. He's a cool guy. He's playing a game. And I'll say this. He is ideologically inconsistent on everything. He's not ideologically consistent on anything. Nothing. Again, takes the shape of whatever the masses want. Most, I will say this, don't be fooled by this man. Do not be fooled by this man. Okay? If he's not the Antichrist, he's pretty close to what I imagine the Antichrist is going to be like. Good looking, smooth talking, knows how to use his words, and is absolutely full of it and anti-truth, anti-reality, and has that persuasiveness to influence people to buy whatever he's selling. Right? He is corrupt with power. He's never held accountable for anything. He's as crooked as they come, but he can be charming. And that's all it takes for some people. Like Tim Watts was saying earlier, it's the identity. It's the appearance. It's the show. That's what gets so many people to vote for him. Not what they actually stand for, not the substance. That was that projection, right? Again, they put on the face. They say all this stuff. People vote for them because they like what they see, they like what they hear, and they do nothing. They don't believe any of it. They do and say what they have to get the votes, and then they leave them in the lurches. Don't be fooled. This is exactly how the enemy gets us. Just like this. Again, I can't stand the man. I don't care how cool he tries to be, how he platforms people on the right so he's more center. He's not. He is manipulating you. Don't allow him to. What do you think? I would love to see what you guys think down in the comments. Like, do you think this podcast is going to hurt or help him? Or do you think it's going to hurt or help the Democrat Party? Because again, I think it's normalizing people on the right. It's showing the ridiculousness and silliness of people on the left. And it's showing that he doesn't stand for anything. If you can wipe that cultness out of their heads, maybe they'll see it. But that's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the show notes below. Would love to see what you guys say. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me so much. Thank you. Don't forget Saturday night Off the Rails. I will be over there with Sean on Third Railify's channel every single Saturday night until he gets tired of me. Our next Monday Night Mayhem live stream is going to be Monday, April 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. More on that in the coming weeks. Next week, I should have, if all goes well, a very special guest. I'm very excited about that. And that may take up the entire show. I don't know if it'll just be a segment or it'll be the whole show. I think we got enough to talk about. It may end up being the whole show, but keep an eye out for that. I'm really, really excited about that guest, as I am all my guests. I've had some really, really great guests on so far this year, and I'm looking forward to the other ones that I have on. Guys, don't forget to check out Pure Blood Media, link down in the show notes below. Great news aggregator, great resources, great content creators, all up in there, TV guide, all this fun stuff. So you can follow us at any given point, any given day, and know where the truth's coming from, because these guys are all about spreading the truth, reality, grounded in reality and in the world, not what the masses and the mainstream media are putting out there. So definitely check out Pure Blood Media group and the link down below. Don't forget, every Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I will have my show up as long as everything goes according to plan. Throughout the week, I will drop the segments called Morning Nuggets throughout the week. And sometimes I'll throw some reaction videos out there. I do have one I got to work on with Robert from the Washcast. We've been talking about it, so I'll be cranking that one out before too long with him. It'll be the first time doing a reaction video with somebody else, so looking forward to that. That ought to be cool. Guys, don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever it is down below, depending on what you're watching on. And I appreciate you guys so very, very much. And again, I do hope today was the day I earned that sub, that follow, whatever. And you'll come back and see us next week. See you next time.
You ever see like a girl, maybe it's a Saturday night, and she thinks she's hot shit, and she's drunk, and she's coming from the bar, and she's real sloppy like, and she's like, I'm a 10, and you're like, bitch, you're mid.
Damn.